Who will evade elimination and who will be sent home packing? Dplus's hopes were up after crushing Los's first game in playoffs, but now they've had 2 hard losses to EU super teams. Will another EU team seal their fate? Then, Wolves' international play over the last year? It's been devolving. Top 6 at SI, then they've been placing lower and lower each event. But after a commanding victory over M80, is this where it turns around? Sometimes this video just gets me. I'm trying to be so intense, trying to set the stakes, and then you see something like that. Anyway, I'm Jackie Jing, and I am with Jesse and Fresh. But real talk, both of these teams, frankly, on the decline when it comes to international events. I think they both know that this match, though, could truly alter the course of their future. Not trying to be too cheesy here, but truly.
Might have to correct you on that, Jesse. Jesse? Jackie. Sorry, it's all the J's.
Yes.
I'm going to have to correct Jackie on that. Okay. Because Wolves were on the decline. And then Boo shaves his head, becomes Bald Boo, and then wins every map.
Bald Boo is undefeated here at the Atlanta Major, yet to lose a map. 2-0 so far. And Dplus.
Did you just say Bald Boo? That's why I was...
Jack said it first. Yeah. I mean, listen.
I can't with you two. Anyway, moving on.
Dplus have been, however, on the decline. Yeah. As you mentioned, Jackie, losing their first game. They've yet to find a win since that very first day here in Swiss. And as you mentioned as well, all European teams so far that they've fallen to. Yeah,
I do want to pull up a tweet from Coded, actually, just speaking about the gravity and the importance for Dplus here. And he put, or airport.
There's been a lot of talk about bleed at this event in their tweets, but I think Coated has been absolutely underrated. He's embracing it as well. It's so true. It's absolutely so true. If they lose this game, they're going to the airport.
Also, talking about Bald Boo, Coded also tweeted this out. Many bald in Major.
Ain't that the truth?
Maybe too many.
More truer words have never been said.
I know, but you know what? Apparently, it might be working for the Wolves, right? What did you say yesterday? Mr. T to Mr. Clean, right?
Indeed.
I can't even. Anyway, from Bibu to a monster on their team, Mowgli, MVP of the day. We got to talk about Mowgli.
Yeah, he absolutely signed up yesterday. I think he's had a very quiet stage, all in all, across the UL, but also in this tournament. And then yesterday he said, right, enough. Wolves, get in my backpack. I'm going to carry it to victory. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, I mean, he has been the star of Wolves for a long time now, right? He has been this guy who's been explosive on entry. He takes the majority of those opening picks for Wolves, and he's very good at it. He knows his role. He's going to fight early. If he pops off, he can single-handedly win the round for Wolves, more so than anybody else on his team. So when he's playing well, you notice it.
And I know that Wolves are going absolutely nutty right now. Just Mowgli screaming at the camera. Okay, but speaking about Wolves, I know that you want to deep dive on more of their strategy and just the dynamic of the team in general.
Yeah, so yesterday Wolves came up against a lot of really utility-heavy holds, right? M80 did throw a lot of util at them. I've got 2 examples of how Wolves really deal with these setups. This is Chalet, it's map number 2, and take a look at all of this util. We got ADSs, we got, of course, obs blockers, we had magnets, we've got holes in the floor being made to try to support this bathroom hold on Chalet. And most teams that come up to the window, they'd throw in flashbangs, they'd really spend a long time trying to clear this. Wolves have a bit of a different strategy. Wolves send one guy at window, one guy at solar, and then they say, you know what? Let's just walk on in. They take the 2v2 fight, they walk in through the window, they trade their gunfights, and they make that work. They push on in without having to waste so much time on utility, and oftentimes they get results with such great plays like that. Map number 1, however, they weren't as successful. This is round number 1, where it's a similar situation. M80, they're throwing a ton of utility down into the basement. They've got deployable shields. They've got dread mines coming up. They got barbed wire. And on the side of Wolves, they don't really have a lot of explosives to deal with this. They don't bring any grenades. They don't have a whole lot to do with the shield, the barbed wire. They're really in a tough spot. And sometimes on more strong bomb sites where you can see really tough spots for the defenders to be holding, what you see is oftentimes they just get clobbered. Look at this deployable shield. It's still up. We're seeing these players just have to walk at shields, and yeah, they'll get some picks. Yeah, they'll trade things out. They're good at that, obviously. But if they aren't clearing that utility, strong defensive bomb sites have been the bane for Wolves. So I like their pushing play playstyle. It can save a lot of time. They're really good at those trades, but sometimes the util, it can be tough.
Also, we had to just put this on camera, everybody. It was just this energy from this huddle right now. I mean, they're popping veins in their heads, and I'm looking over at Dplus, and it's just calm and collected. Elimination is on the line, and I feel like it depends on the team, but you got to be bringing whatever's going to make you win, right?
Certainly, and I mean Mowgli, he was screaming in my eyes. We were locked when he was doing that. Dplus though, you know, I don't hate the calmness either, right? Sometimes that's what you need to lock into.
Yeah, this happened the very first day when they were going up against Loss.
Yeah.
The very first day, very first game, is they were just in, they were zoned in, they were T-hunting for literally like half an hour before the game.
Yeah.
These players have been here quite a while actually at this point, and you know, setting up and playing a lot of T-hunts and practicing. And again, it's just been very quiet from Dplus behind us. Zoned in, T-hunt ready.
Okay, well, we are going to bring the maps up right now, moving into the map band selection process. Okay, Jesse, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, a bit of a questionable pool here. I think Wolves, they're very happy to get Skyscraper, not super surprising. Oregon, pretty comfy for them as well. Yeah, I don't know, Jack. I feel like they're pretty good here on the side of Wolves.
I feel like I feel like Dplus have found really good business flights home, back to Korea for tomorrow.
Oh!
Why have they picked Chalet into Wolves? I've never seen this before in a best of 3, but Wolves have got their number 1 map preference in Skyscraper as their pick, their number 2 map preference as the decider in Oregon, and their number 3 map preference because their opponent has picked it into them.
Yeah.
I can't fathom this pick because Dplus also looked absolutely horrendous on Chalet yesterday.
They did.
I mean, could there be any strategy behind it, you think? Or you're just scratching your head then?
Well, the nice thing is they got a lot of odds, right? I mean, this is a popular map for Wolves, all
Good
3.
point.
They've got a lot of footage to bounce back on, but Jack's not wrong. I mean, 2 recent plays for Dplus Kia on Chalet. A strong win over Sandbox in the Korean Grand Finals. That's something. But then, you know, we saw a 7-3 loss to Virtus Pro when these two met inside of Atlanta. They have those recent results. The VODs are also there for Wolves, and historically, obviously, on these 3 maps, Wolves do look a lot better. So for Dplus Kia, I do hope they know what they're doing because this has been a bit of a dangerous map ban phase they've just jumped into.
The problem with Dplus Kia, specifically on Chalet as well, and we saw it yesterday, is they're very susceptible to a Solarium side take. What did you just show in Wolves was them clearing Solarium side so easily on Chalet against M80. So that means even on the defensive side, Dplus Kia are only going to have 2 maps, 2 sites, the basement and the bar and gaming site, to defend. It's like, it doesn't make any kind of logical sense.
Do I even need to ask predictions? I feel like I'm getting a
Wolves
very
2-0,
clear...
very quick, going home soon.
I'll give them a 2-1,
Okay.
I believe.
2-1?
Really?
Which map? Which map do you think Dplus win? Seriously.
I think Oregon's a pretty default map. Oh, that's the decider. I think they pull up the Sky. I think they start probably D on Sky. Yeah, I think they'll take that.
All right, well, we will see what plays out. So we're doing something really cool. We got a TriCast going on, and it's with Stokes, Lynx, and Fox. Take it away, gentlemen.
Or, as you want to call us, the triple threat trio, as I like to think we are. I mean, we couldn't end the day without doing a TriCast. Sam and I did the SQ game earlier. That was kind of a lot. That was a very tall mental load. We needed a third person in case Dplus Kia somehow, on 3 of Wolves' best maps, send Wolves packing.
I mean, Dplus, the whole desk was sleeping on Dplus. That is a little crazy. But I'm sleeping on them too. In my opinion. Wolves, Fresh convinced me. I mean, that's all you have to say. That Wolves' 3 best maps not only are very aggressive maps that Dplus could excel on, but Wolves has been looking like they've been getting back into the rhythm of things. 2-0 M80 yesterday, which I would argue M80 in the current state is almost better than Dplus. So 3 best maps for Wolves, 2-0 for Wolves.
Such a hater.
Yeah, it's a tall ask for Dplus, so I definitely have to agree with all of them here. And when you look at this map pool, I mean, Fox, would you walk into this neck of the woods in your band face?
You really asking me that?
Well, I think that spoke for itself right there. Let's get through this band phase, folks. Let's see how Chalet is going to play its offensive bands. First, Dplus Kia is going to be handling our first one here. But you guys heard it here first and on the analyst desk. This is not looking too hot, at least when it comes to the map bans for Dplus Kia. But, hey, crazier things have happened in the past. We're going to get Ying banned out here initially. Let's see how the rest of this offense is going to look.
Wolves sure does love taking solar take. I'd expect maybe Dplus to kind of counter operators for that. Wolves banning out the Brava. That's going to eliminate Dplus's individual playmaking ability. The Brava's so good on Chalet, getting rid of, you know, potential Elemines, beepers that could stop the individual playmaking from Dplus. And the Valk, again, another huge aggressive operator to get off the board, shutting down the information for Dplus Kia's players.
And what do you know? To round things out, we have the Solus for Dplus Kia. What are Wolves good for yesterday? What could we rely them on when it came to moments that, when they were presented earlier in the tournament, they kind of didn't live up to their reputation? You ban out the Solus, you minimize some of that individual play, and when Dplus Kia shift to the attack, as they are a bit slower of a team, now they'll be able to rely a little bit more on those drones once they end up switching sides. For Wolves, of course, they won't have to worry about that either. That does mean, though, Azami is left up on Chalet, and she is such a powerful operator. For holding sites like Bar and Game, specifically this library position, you could have the Mira, too, if you wanted to pair it with her. That's how deadly she can be.
You mentioned exactly what Wolves is good for. In my opinion right now, I think it's their energy. The way that they're feeling, especially after a win, especially after taking out the NA1 seed, Wolves probably doesn't feel too worried going up against Dplus Kia right now. I'd have to see something surprising out of Dplus Kia. The individual playmaking that got them that first win in day one of Phase 2 was a lot of Yas, pretty much individually getting the picks for his team against Los. Wolves don't really make those mistakes. They don't have individual roamers that are going to get picked like that. I'd expect Wolves to really slow the pace down, take their time, see what they can get started.
Yeah, they've been a lot more set up. Ibu working on his aerodynamic package, right? Had to shave the hair off. Brain's firing on all cylinders now. Had to make sure that thing, had to make sure that thing was a little bit more cool, man. Just getting hot under the engine there, rather the hood. But either way, though, into the first round we go. Bibu going to be heading things off here with one of his friends over towards Ego Balcony. He's going to be Deadshot on the upside down rappel here with the Lion.
Now, just looking at exactly how Wolves is setting up, it's striking to me that it's going to be a library clear, bringing that Capitao.
Nice.
Aggressive pick from Deadshot, but he is going to get traded. Wow, the trench run out from Yas. The trades are amazing right now from Wolves. Bibu, right place, right time. Back to what I was saying, though. The Capitao
detour.
The Capitao brought to pretty much clear out library, almost as if they want to just clear up the top floor and then exec the site right after.
And I mean, look at this. I mean, Coded now the only man standing on this mezzanine position. What was supposed to be basically Dplus Kia's bastion on the defense to delay so much time. All you have is Wamai, which can be a powerful operator, but all of his support is gone. The Azami dead. It's a rough start for Dplus.
Yeah, Dplus want all the smoke, but ended up taking a little bit too much into the lungs there. So we choked out for now, but that doesn't mean that they can't bring themselves back into this round. As Wolves is looking at that top floor, just as Fox was saying, they're still going to have to deal with a couple of bodies, specifically this one over towards the balcony. Not so much presence actually physically inside of the library. That's what that lineup with Mowgli with those nades, as well as the Capitao bolts, are so damn good for. But now, Wolves, a lot of time for them to be able to work this map and try and use these drones to their fullest advantage.
Dplus is not set up badly at all. Coded being up top, Woogieman able to watch the front lobby from Kitchen. And then you have the site player Soldier.
Well, they're trying to get the trades back onto Wolves, but the attack maintains the advantage as P4 moves into the bomb site. Coded now moving for the retake down below. Just on the opposite side of Shinka planning that diffuser, P4 can cut off his aggression inside of the site. Also has to do double duty, focusing on the short hallway. Then here goes for the peek. P4 knows he's there now. Now Shinka can back out the window. They've entered the post plant. The hardest job of getting that bomb down is now done. They just need to hold their positions and stop the re-aggression from Dplus Kia defenders. Nice shot by Coded, but at this point there is too much work to be done. Shinka has clutched far greater moments in this exact same post plant yesterday against M80. And no disrespect, my man, but one guy against two, one of them being Shinka, other being Bibu, I guess. But both, it's simply not going to happen. First round will go the way of Wolves in the post plant, and Coded will end it early.
Very smart play from Wolves. Obviously, the early aggression.
I don't know what that means.
That's the energy. I couldn't translate that. I didn't hear it. The early aggression in the trades.
Oh, yeah, we can finally cheat. We actually have a Frenchman here. we finally know what they're saying. Oh, man, I feel like a spy.
The early aggression from Wolves, getting that trade, set them up beautifully to then clear library and pretty much go for that plant right away off of the picks. I didn't think Dplus was set up too bad, but Coded actually gave up library and top floor control, which could have been the answer to stopping Wolves' plant, but he decided to just go down into the site and play with his teammate, which isn't a bad, it isn't a bad idea.
It's
but
okay, right?
Obviously, we can see that top floor was clear, and that would have been the answer, but he couldn't see it.
No. And that's the key thing, though, because that highlights how pivotal that area in the map can be, especially for plants like that. If you're able to maintain library control, you can quickly shut things down from that hatch, and then more than likely, things are going to go your way. It's a cold case, and they have to try and reaggress into the site, but also just goes to show you how some of these moments can get a little awkward when sometimes that early aggression doesn't go the way you want it to.
And also, you got to talk about the trade game from Wolves early on. I mean, the ability to get so aggressive and shut down the aggression from Dplus Kia, all while somehow threading the needle and getting yourselves a 4v3 only a minute into the round. Really impressive stuff from Wolves to start, and shows, I mean, this is a comfortable map for them. Bibu certainly feels at home at the moment after round 1. We saw some crazy picks in the attacker repick, where we end up basically getting a pretty standard lineup, I think, for, honestly, an attack from any side.
Yeah, I did like the aggressiveness from Dplus. Obviously, the trades from Wolves was better. But backs are against the wall. On the master bomb site, it looks like Wolves is trying to change up the pace, maybe go a lot faster for a solar direct.
Well, see if that'll happen. They have 2 over here on the bathroom side, but it's going to be an immediate hop-in, and 2 are immediately eviscerated as Yaz will take them down. 3 kills for him now, but Wolves, they have to find this answer, and they need to find it fast. Mowgli tries to move in and find somebody here in the office position. It's one of those key moments to try and find, but he's also giving up the goods. Soldier will find him, and what a round here from Dplus Kia.
Maybe Wolves thought that round was... Maybe they thought the whole map was going to be a little easier. The first round was so methodical. They really took their time. Soldier slowly cleaning up the rest of the team. But Shinka in a 1-on-5. Do we think he can do it?
No.
Absolutely.
I mean, listen, is Shinka one of the coldest players in Europe? Yeah, but that round was pretty much lost the moment they tried to hop in bathroom window. They tried to bait out with the Yana clone and then allow the player hopping in behind it to get that free 1-for-1. But Yas has got it lined up. I mean, once he sees the window open up, he's able to get the kill initially, and at that point, that's what most of Wolves' play was hinging on.
Absolutely. Night and day difference, too. First round, Wolves was really methodical. Their trade game was there. That round almost looked like they were maybe relying a little bit too much on info, trying to rush this window that is double frost matted. Yes, perfectly behind it, just right place, right time. As soon as you shut down that entry potential from Wolves, Mowgli wasn't able to get into the office from the Ego Bauk. He was caught off. Now you have no push from Wolves. It's a 3-on-5. It only got more stacked against them as the round played out.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you as well how some solid positioning and good utility can go really far, because those dread mines were such a problem, right? Every single time they hop in, they're immediately blinded. They can't really take the fight they want to in any considerable way. You could really see that from Mowgli's position especially, but at that point in time, Fox, I mean, that's all she wrote. What are you going to do with 2 people, then 1 person at the tail end?
Not much. On this kitchen bomb site, it looks like Dplus is going to stick to the traps and the castle, slowing Wolves down at every pace they can. Wolves is a very slow team, but this is an aggressive map.
Also, the Azami's already been pretty impactful so far. I mean, see that Yas play. He was kind of just moving around bathroom, just going about his own business, and is able to hide behind that Kiva barricade. We see Soldier all the way on the library side, holding a similarly important position. So we have the castle barricades, obviously. We have a lot of utility from Dplus Kia that's meant to stall them.
Wow.
Again, the aggression from Coded finds P4 outside of the west main window. We gave Wolves a lot of credit after round 1, but afterwards, Dplus Kia have certainly fought back.
That's the aggression from Dplus that they started off on round 1. If you get a couple trades, that slows Wolves down so much because they've been playing so confident. Coded's going to go down for his troubles, though. Still playing aggressive inside of West Main. Mowgli's going to clean him up, evening up the mount count, but no position has really been taken from Wolves. Dplus is still sitting up top. They're still sitting in sight. The whole team just surrounded, stalling their timeout, waiting for Wolves to make the move and fall into their traps. And off of the info from the Yokai or the Legion traps, that's when Dplus is going to make their move and try to isolate that 1v1 as best as they can.
That's a key thing. It almost feels as though Wolves has kicked the beehive here. Dplus have been activated. Wolves trying to shift the gear back in this round and try and get Bibu in there with those drones, open up some new angles, but it's been very difficult for them so far as they lose another body.
Yeah, Mowgli trying to push in. He's got intel on somebody playing close on the short hallway, just outside of the dining position. He gets a Yokai, but now he's spotted. He's tagged up Harper, but they know the Finka's position now. Teammate moves in to support. Need to recover this case. Pick it back up. He pushes on in, cuts down the Echo. Excellent spot now as Wolves have created a beachhead into the bomb site. Bibu tacks on for another one. And if they just can keep this player on the solar stairs isolated and also watch for these vertical angles, Wolves should be okay. Frag grenade cooked, check close on the solar angle, doesn't find anything. The only problem for Wolves at the moment are these vertical angles from Dplus Kia. It takes a lot of HP from Soldier, but he gets the important pick onto Mowgli.
We saw Bibu here, though. He's going to be able to get the case back into his hands, but with 2 Dplus players up, he's going to have to try and flirt with this. He's got plenty of time, though, so he can try and play this out into his advantage, flirt with that case a bit, see if somebody wants to peek, but instead, he's just going to stick it, and this is actually going to work out for him.
Bomb will go down and Soldier's on 1 HP. This could be a kill lined up. He's watching Solar. Down goes one. He spotted the other, but Yas makes the cross. Somehow dodges behind the reinforcement. Bibu at least knows the general part of the map he's on, but now the exact intel, it's evaded him. This is where Yas can catch the Flores off guard. Bibu still has 3 flashes, so a lot of ability to waste time or blind Yas as he moves in for the retake. Diffuser now spotted, but already so much time wasted by the Flores. Bibu timing these flashes so perfectly to stall the engagement from Yas by just a little bit longer. Pre-fire almost works, but Bibu in the clutch gets Wolves their second.
Clinical 1v2 by Bibu. Dplus, common theme for the first round, they have the top floor control. They're not playing it. They started out that round beautifully. They waited for Wolves to make the mistake. Wolves entered the site, the trades were there. They had full top floor control. They got the pick onto the kitchen player, and then subsequently gave it up to double up going down into trophy, which is the best angle for that Bibu could have been set up for, is that trophy staircase.
So true. And I think the other thing, just to play into your point there, the stall on the Solarium stairs, the decision making, it just wasn't there. They just wait patiently to see what's going to happen. I mean, if you're patient enough, I guess Bibu's going to put a bomb down and kill both of you. So just not a moment that you really want to try and give up, especially to a player like Bibu. Gets that case down for practically free instead of that 1 versus 2 when it takes such a long time to dedicate yourself.
I'd imagine if you're Dplus in that situation and that's the second round you've lost to not having enough information, even having the yokai up, they'd have to drop something to allow them to bring maybe a bulletproof camera or at least something to protect the information that they currently have. The Castle, the Azami are doing a great job at slowing Wolves down. Speed is not a problem for Wolves right now. I'd suggest dropping something that's trying to slow their push down to bring more information-oriented ops. But now we're seeing Wolves banning that Valkyrie is actually coming back and biting Dplus, because it seems to me like the Valk would be a beautiful operator to be running in this lineup, and the fact that they don't have those cams to rely on, they're not fixing or placing any other type of information to fill in that void.
And it also seems to be that's the main way Dplus Kia are trying to adapt from their loss against Virtus Pro yesterday. We saw some really rigid solar stairs holds to try to stop the attack from acquiring control, whether on the master bedroom and office or the kitchen and dining bomb site. This time, it is much more flexible. You have coded peeking angles outside the building. You have Yas running around on the Legion, doing a more loose hold of the top floor instead of stacking so much utility on the solar stairs. Part of that, I imagine, was counter-stratting VP, as they love their solar stairs takes. But also, by banning that Valkyrie, Wolves reading into likely what Dplus Kia were going to do against them instead of what they did against VP, it does take away a super powerful tool that Dplus Kia, I have to imagine, would have made great use of.
Yep, just like you said, Dplus is not out of this game by no means. They've actually been in the driver's seat all 3 rounds.
Setting the pace.
Yeah.
Wolves have just been the ones that are winning the shots, and obviously, the 1v2 speaks for itself from Bibu.
It's the crucial moments for Wolves right now. It's the intangibles, as we say, right? It's those things where you're like, okay, you're in a clutch. It's one of those moments where you have to try and make the most of the situation. And if you can, well, it's a round win for you. And the same can be said with a couple of these different engagements. Same can be said for Dplus Kia. These more aggressive tendencies over towards West Main, some of the peaks up top, especially like what we saw in some previous rounds, like the Frost getting a little dirty outside on the Eagle balcony and stuff like that, right? You can see that Dplus Kia are willing to stomp on this accelerator to take it to the Wolves. The Wolves just have to make sure that they don't give up too many bodies to where that's going to be highly effective.
If you had to splice up all of these rounds into 3 phases, start, mid to late, the start and mid is won by Dplus.
Yep.
The easiest part is not messing up the late round, not giving away the free picks, and playing the position that they've already rotated around to hold in the first place.
Yeah, they built it up, right? They built it up to this point, and it's like, oh man, you're doing so good. You're going to get an A in the class, and then you fail the test.
But that's ultimately been the theme of a lot of these more experienced teams versus, say, regions from like Korea, Japan, or things like that, is that Wolves are able just to barely close it out against Bliss, down 5-6, and bring it over the line in that best best of 3. Dark Zero against Fury, down 5-6, end up bringing it over the line 8-7 against Fury. Dark Zero earlier today against Bleed, down 6-5, win at 8-7 over Bleed. A lot of the times, these super experienced teams that are operating at the highest echelons in Rainbow Six are winning because they are able to clutch over the long period of time. And sure, in this case, we're talking about 45 seconds, right? We're talking about clutching the late round, even though you've lost the early to mid. But in many ways, it's just as important as clutching the late game if you've lost the early and mid game of a certain best of 1 or a best of 3. That's the ability that Wolves have shown through this tournament. Though at the same time, a lot of the other parts of their game certainly have had problems.
The scariest part for Dplus is when you clutch a round against, you know, a clutch round, any clutch round, when you are able to bring that momentum back to your team, the momentum rush that your whole team gets is monumental. That momentum can drive teams to win or lose matches. We've seen teams crumble under pressure, especially when teams start to get loud, they start to get energetic.
Have Wolves been loud?
Wolves have been loud, especially after that.
Oh, I missed that.
Are you really?
I didn't know who that was in the middle on the Wolves guy. I was like, who? What kind of hype man did they hire just to bring in here? He's like, ah.
That was a great Bibu impression.
That was a great, you know, what can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
You guys should match haircuts.
Me and Bibu?
Yeah.
I bet SSG, I said, if you make main stage, you can shave my head. And I was really confident. I was like, they're playing Scars 0-2? I'm going to have a full head of hair. And then they won yesterday, and then they beat NIP 2-0 today. Now I'm getting a little more nervous.
Not looking good for you.
It's, listen, I was on a plane back home last time, and I was like, SSG in a best of 3, what's going to happen? I get off the plane, they lost. The sigh of relief I let out in the Indianapolis airport could be heard for miles around. But now I'm back in the same situation, Sam. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, can't blame you for that one, my friend. But good news is the server's feeling a lot better, folks. So we're hopping back into Chalet here. Wolves is up 2-1 right now over Dplus Kia, and it's been some high-flying antics from Dplus Kia so far throughout this game, but they've had some time to discuss things. Same for Wolves. Let's see the adjustments that are going to be coming in on both sides of the coin for Barn Gaming.
The last Barn Gaming round, the aggression was on the right track. Holding top floor library was on the right track.
Attackers need to locate
They simply
and
lost
defuse
it
bombs.
when they completely gave up top floor, allowed Wolves into the site, which was exactly what they wanted. And once that case, that diffuser goes down, especially right next to the window, it's very difficult to retake onto it because the fight is very difficult for the defender peeking outside onto the window, especially the last time they defended this round. Bibu was also upside down Spider-Man rappel.
Yeah,
pretty much on the library.
Right. That's the problem with that site is like there's so many areas outside that window that you can be. You can be on rappel, you can be prone, you can be behind the pillar. You know, there's so many different ways to just be right within arm's reach of that case.
5
But
seconds remaining.
difficult sites there for Dplus, and actually they're going to be adding a couple of traps inside of their own site just to make sure that if Wolves do go for a deep lunge, they meet some explosive tendencies.
The trap game is what they're going to be leaning towards, and I do like the mirror. The mirror is going to provide that info into library that they didn't have the prior round, and the info in the site to potentially stop the execute when Wolves decides to jump in the site. Information's there. Will they be able to capitalize off of it? They played library top floor so well and so pivotal, but Wolves also didn't try to contest Coded on the cat balcony. They left him there up top uncontested. They didn't really have information over library. Will they be as sloppy this round?
Oh? Well, I mean, when you look at it, it looks as though Dplus has the right mindset, right? You look at the mirror, you look at the trap ops, you got Coded here, as well as Harper. Big thing here with a zombie on this top floor. These Kiba barriers can mean a lot for the positions that you can play, but we've seen Wolves break down bigger strategies.
It looks like they want to go for a fast play too. P4 setup downstairs. As soon as library's clear, I'd expect a very swift take into the site off of the Dokkaebi call, potentially line jumping in the ego balcony.
And here we go. Sam, you and I saw Shaiko in this spot earlier. He was fell very early on, and indeed the same thing happens. Wookie Man swings in, the P4 down below. Finds his man, gets the trade for Mowgli, but Dplus Kia holding rock solid in round 4. Maintain control of the library stairs, and that fast play from Wolves only meets ready guns from Dplus Kia.
But Wolves have gotten what they've wanted. This entire top floor is now theirs. halfway into this round. Yeah, they've had to give over P4 and Mowgli, but they have to make sure that they know about these late rotations.
Yas on the flank, he could be detrimental to the stake. But it looks like Wolves has set up a flank drone to be able to pay attention to it. This is exactly what they wanted off of the back of the Dokkaebi call. They have the position. They can't lose it to Yas' solo flank, but he's been a pivotal player for Dplus so far.
Shots rain in his direction. He's thankfully got those impact grenades to create a path of retreat down into Dining. And where does he go? But a pivotal position, equally so for Bar Games. If you can hold Dining, make sure nobody's pushing down the fireplace hall. At worst, you're just distracting Deadshot for a few key seconds, but at best, you could be the difference maker for Wolves' attack. They're trying their best to set up, but they haven't cleared out the stock position either, and Soldier has a mirror window to play behind. That's what the firebolts are for. There's still those magnets. Are there any in sight? Is there anything in Wolves' way? They're lacking a little bit of key intel. The E1D will try to provide it. Down go the firebolts. Soldier will likely not be burned, but he certainly can't peek without losing a lot of HP. A few key seconds dwindling by. Deadshot shoots the EED. As he moves on in, Harper finds one. Deadshot with the trade. Deadshot with 2 big kills, but Yas still unread on the roam, and Case dropped down inside the site. Somebody from Wolves has to recover, but Yas's long flank might just work out. It all depends on Deadshot on the coverage. Yas is working his way around. He shouldn't be able to see him behind the bomb. He uses the impact, but it goes too far. A 3K for Deadshot in round 4. Yas so close to the mark, but just too far away.
Phenomenal entry from Deadshot into the site. Everything was, again, looking like Dplus's favor. They had the mirror for the information. I really like the well-placed Capital Fire bolts from Wolves. Right above the mirror, forcing Soldier to push up against the wall. I wasn't a big fan of Yas. He didn't commit to the top flank.
No.
And he sure as hell did not try to put any effort or pep in his step when he was coming over from Kitchen. When your sight is being focused, when Soldier is the one being fired off, I don't know if the communication was cluttered, but we needed to see Yas kick it into high gear and come into the site to assist his teammates a lot faster.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell that the info basis wasn't really there either for what Wolves was going for in that moment. I mean, Deadshot getting away with so much there, and he walks through the fireplace single panel. That's a position where you think somebody like Yas over in that kind of dining hall area can maybe muster something, but he never really shows up to the party, does he?
That's very true. The traps, we saw them get shot right before the entry. The traps were not working. And again, similar situation as the prior rounds. The information is also not there.
Tactical timeout from Dplus Kia, as you all saw transpire on your screens. Dplus Kia recognize that letting Wolves run up the scoreboard so early on, especially when they have the momentum behind them, that is going to be a difficult mountain to climb. No matter what side Wolves are on, defense or attack, now is the time to try and stop it.
I really love that execute from Wolves. They got into position, minimal positions, off of the back of P4's phone call. They immediately hit into the site, hit up top on library, trade for trade. They got exactly what they needed, which was that top floor site. Then they stopped. Complete standstill. Set up drones, gathered information, figured out where all 3 remaining Dplus members were. The utility was there, pushed everybody where it needed to be pushed, and the trades were clearly there. Deadshot just had an amazing entrance to the site.
The ironic thing, though, is they did something not exactly the same. There wasn't as much of a reset, but they tried something similar on the master bedroom round when they tried to flood it through the window. They set up those drones, they got themselves in position, and then they were all cut down by Yas. So
That's
how
true.
will they make the adjustments this time? As I don't think they'll go for the same play, but the last time we saw clear of this top floor was anything but stellar.
It was a little bit more direct when it came to that as they tried to hop in the bathroom window. Previous round, a little bit of a better build-up, some safer pastures to work your way to the map, right? You can start from Big Garage, come across through the hallways, downstairs. More than likely not going to run into too many roadblocks. And obviously with that reset that Fox was talking about midway through the round, that really assisted them with handling Yas especially. If they try and go for things too quickly, Yas probably slips through the cracks, maybe get some pivotal kills up top in the library. But Wolves, they were ready for that, and they used that full round and at that time to its maximum advantage. So here we go once again. Wolves feeling as though the gas pedal might be the option. What a change here from P4. Woogie Man doesn't hear him, but Harper gets Mowgli as well.
P4's got intel on him, though. Wolves have constantly gone for this fast, disruptive play. It's sometimes a bit shoddy, but P4 certainly bringing him over the line this time. Deadshot also hopping in the trophy window to bolster the attack down below on the first floor. Yas in a similar position on that second floor, holding a choke point behind Akiba. And this is where we see that reset you talked about, Fox. They're trying to set up drones, find these positions, make good on the man advantage they've acquired.
They've done the hard job. They've got inside the map. They got the picks. Now they know that they won't have to worry about the flank. They won't have to worry about a player from below. They can take their time to walk up through Solar, which they love attacking Solar. Dplus Kia is going to set up a round to hold those stairs. The Ash is going to push Coded back into the bathroom. Yes, is going to be on a one-man mission against 3. He downs Deadshot, but he gets traded by P4. Coded alone in the bathroom. Soldier slowly rotating over. Currently a 3v2 for Dplus.
Yeah, Deadshot down on the floor. Can Coded go big inside of the site? It's instead Soldier to find the Dokkaebi. Whenever those calls went out, Wolves pushed off of it, but now the man who led the action on Wolves is gone, but Deadshot holding up the rear 4-0 right now as Coded starts to lurk around. He's the one watching. 4-1 now for Wolves. An explosive start, a quiet middle, and then a dominant end has been the theme for Wolves.
Wolves, they've found their mark, right? They've found this opening at the beginning, and they found their pacing up against Dplus Kia. Some discovery stages early on here inside of these offensive rounds, but the Wolves have found that this initial killing blow to some of these roamers really opens up the map, allows them to use the full breadth of their info game and apply pressure to Dplus Kia across the map. Key difference on that site too, Fox. Some of those rotations a heck of a lot harder, you know what I mean? Trying to get out of sight, try and find new ways to work influence in, and especially as you're constantly losing bodies, it's not really going to be the biggest and best thing to try and make a sweeping change over to Solarium.
We saw Dplus Kia investing a lot of utility, especially around that bathroom door with the Azami. Difficult way to clear. The last round, or the way prior round that Wolves tried to rush it, that's what they were trying to deal with. Obviously, Wolves knows that Dplus loves to put a lot of resources holding that Solar Stairs to completely stump Wolves' regular take. So Wolves is adapting around it. They're using the Dokkaebi call to take from below, which just goes to show how strong the Dokkaebi call is.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the change of pace from Wolves. They're not going slow every round, fast every round. It's back and forth.
In round.
Exactly. And then once they get that pick, just like you said, they slow it down, they take their time, they figure out their next steps.
I also love P4 being the one to take that initiative. I mean, when you think of Wolves, you think of the big explosive entries from Deadshot or Mowgli, but P4, the IGL, has been the main guy off the back of those calls to take that control. I really like to see it.
Yeah, and just not to get too far off of it either, I love their answer to the Solarium hold, right? Instead of doing what everybody else does, we're going to burn things out, nade it, be it, whatever we have to do, they just walk in there and shoot the guy instead, Fox. Sometimes it's the easy things, right? It's the more straightforward options that can work out for you.
We're back in the kitchen dining bomb site, and it looks like Dplus is going with a similar hold, the same one that they ran the last round. They played this one perfectly. They had the top floor control in that clutch situation. Bibu was just too fast for them. We'll see if they can replicate it now. They have the capsule to stall a little bit at a time. Cute little wolf on the screen there for you guys.
Hey, it's a wolf. It's the wolf.
It's a wolf. It's not a fox. Close
True.
enough.
Not really. Foxes are a lot smaller. Good try.
Yeah, but they pack a big punch, so I've heard.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I've never.
I'll hold him. You can hit him.
I've never met a fox like. Oh, I just picked up what you're putting down.
All right, let's get back into it. Wolves is slowly about to commence an onslaught onto the top floor. All 4 from one side, Shinka on the other. The Dokkaebi call, you hear it ringing out. That's going to give information to the top floor players. Harbor's going to go down to Mowgli as they push down, but the trade's going to come out from Yas jumping out, but immediately getting traded. Right place, right time. Bibu's always there.
Mowgli too, just barely peppering Soldier through that wall. And somehow, despite the calls seemingly at first only bringing chaos, Wolves have found themselves a man advantage, a 4v3, and we're back to that reset position. But usually at this point, they have at least one more call to make work. Right now, they've got none of it.
They do have the bodies. At least got that going for them. Solid control over this top floor as well. Somebody's got to get the case. Start looking towards where these last remaining members are, and the longer that Woogie sits here as these bodies bleed out, the worse and worse this scenario can get, especially if nobody dons Solarium's stairs. Then it just becomes a questionable spot for him down here. But he does still have these yokais, and that's the beauty of a situation like this. But oh, can he get him? He can't even kill P4 here, and then backed out. So kind of a saving moment here. They'll try and pick him back up, and the case is down here too, so they'll grab that. But now they know that Woogie Man is downstairs.
I like him picking up the case before he even revives his teammate. Mowgli knows what his priorities are. Bibu also cutting off the west main staircase. Oh, all right, Bibu, there we go. Takes the end of the clip, but they make it work. A 5-1 half for Wolves, but I have to say, it felt like we were watching the same round transpire over and over again. Dokkaebi call, push. Reset, Dokkaebi call, push.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Helby on the line as a little check-in to see what's happening here with the Wolves.
I wonder what his thoughts are.
What's he thinking?
What's he thinking? He's cooking some up right now.
Well, I'm trying to listen to what Bibu is saying right now. We're obviously trying to bank on the momentum we picked up yesterday, and so far a 5-1 lead on their map pick is, you know, I couldn't ask for a better half.
Helby, I gotta ask. You're sitting there,
Yep.
You're doing the map veto, and you see Chalet, Sky, Oregon come up. What are you thinking?
We were very happy with the map ban. I mean,
is that true? Is that
like,
true?
I'm shocked.
when their map pick is one of our best map, even though we haven't showed like some very good, we could say, first half of the major on Chalet, it still is a map we were very comfortable on, and I think right now the scoreline is showing it.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where you guys have quite a bit of influence, especially over a team, it seems like Dplus Kia. Even more their high-flying antics, right? You guys are there, especially Bibu. It seems like Fox was saying, right place, right time. That angle, especially on Garage, a perfect moment for you guys. But when it comes to this defensive side, how do you guys try to address a team with this much raw power?
Well, Chalet can sometimes be claustrophobic, so I think we'll try to, you know, get early picks, generate some space for ourselves, and see how they react after that.
Well, thank you so much, Helby. We really appreciate the check-in, my friend, stepping away from the team for just a split second to showcase just how talented his roster is. And they've been looking stellar so far, isn't that right, Fox?
Absolutely, and now on the defense side of things, I really like how they're setting up to counter against a similar attack that Dplus is doing. They brought the Capitao, they're ready to clear this library angle if they want to, setting up for almost an identical attack that Wolves did the first round of things. Wolves doesn't seem to have too many bodies directly in library, but they're all spread out over to Master to inevitably retake the top floor. It looks like Wolves understands the strength and power on that top floor, especially in the library, maintaining that hatch control, maintaining cat. You have a full understanding and can see almost every position in the site below them, and that's how they're going to focus on stopping the plant.
One thing, though, that Dplus Kia don't have that Wolves abused almost was that Dokkaebi, those calls to allow explosive action once the phones start ringing in the map. This is far more utility-focused for Dplus Kia, whereas Wolves, it was all mobility, all flexibility, all ability to enable players like Deadshot and Mowgli and P4 even to get inside the building and find the picks they were looking for.
I love that impact out of Deadshot. They were anticipating potentially a flank up the top main stairs, so he impacts it, gets quick info pretty much on that area, and you can see Harper below. He's setting up, but there's a player right next to him.
A little pressure here. Harper, he's feeling it. He knows that player's going to try and run across, but it's P4 that shuts one down instead. Mowgli will get traded out from Harper. That was that other engagement we saw going down inside a snowmobile. So all's fair in love and war in between these two, but a lot of time out of the pocket of Dplus Kia.
That was a beautiful rotate at a P4 too. He was just in the solar, already going downstairs. Great read. They clearly understood that Dplus was going to be taking the garage, completely stumped them in their tracks, and now it's a standstill with not much time on the clock.
No, but Deadshot still has this mirror window. When it comes to library control, Wolves still very much in control at the top floor. Dplus Kia really banking on Harbor's X-Factor on Fireplace Stairs, now flanking up to open up this part of the bomb site. Soldier has smoked off the mirror window, and this is a good reaction. Place the firebolt in the drone hole, force Shinka forward. But this is a man who does not lose his cool, who does not lose his edge. Even with Harper behind him, he's still perfectly fine to take the one on the game's window. And now he finds Harper as he moves in to clear out the very player who does him in. Nice shot by Woogieman, nice pickup too. But still an effective 1v2 with Soldier on the ground. He'll hop in the mudroom window, push on through the door, but P4's got it close. P4's got it done. Match point for Wolves.
That is exactly... He said, yes, papa. I think that was pretty, yes, papa.
Yes,
nice.
Papa!
Nice, the guys. Well, like, let's go, guys, pretty much.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But what a round there from the Wolves. Putting on full display how to handle an offense like this, right? They identify where the offense is trying to come in from. They really want that base mid control and to try and work themselves up. This is something that we kind of see as a natural thing that's happened with this site in particular when it comes to Chalet, right? You can kind of influence things from upstairs, but sometimes if you get those players in down low, they can slip through the cracks, get some really pivotal kills, maybe carve out the site and get a plant down. But this time around, the Wolves know exactly where it's coming from.
Funny enough, Wolves was actually set up for a carbon copy of how they were going to attack it. They also set up exactly for that bottom up that they ran on the second attack on Bar with having P4 coming up through the basement. They were ready for that, and that's what stopped Dplus. And on the same side of things, the first attack that they ran, an amazing retake on Library. They didn't play on it, they had the mirror info, and as soon as the plant or a threat of a plant and the threat of the site being hit came out, they completely three-man retook upstairs control and shut down the diffuser.
Look at this change from Dplus Kia on match point. On their own map pick, need I remind you, a big change. Of course, you could talk about Coded on the Ram, bringing some good soft destruction, but Woogieman is the one drawing our eye, the man on the blitz. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll see an execute in the first 30 seconds, but Dplus Kia are trying to bring something to break that slow pace we saw them set in the previous round. Something that, like we saw from Wolves off the back of those Dokkaebi calls, to allow an explosion of action and hopefully a man advantage acquired.
I really think we're going to see here a top floor bait with the blitz going through trophy window. There's not many places where you can utilize that blitz, but that is the one window that is close enough in vicinity to where he can have a huge effect on the rest of the round.
Yeah, and also the beauty of these boogie drones now, right? You can set it there and forget it until you want to activate it, and then it's massively loud, just churning across that top floor. And you really already can't hear when it comes to land, right? You have those little drivers in your earbuds. It's very difficult.
Coded left one outside of Ego Door, and he's already been all over the map, keeping confusion on Wolves' toes, while the rest of the team seems like they're trying to find an entry position. They're all rotating around the map, setting up information, opening up windows, making sure that Wolves doesn't have an exact pinpoint on where they're coming from.
We have some intel on the players down below. But look at the freedom Wolves have been allowed. Dplus Kia have this intel on the players inside of the site, but when it comes to the actual roamers from Wolves, the ones who might throw this attack really completely out of whack, there's really nothing stopping them.
It's been the slowest setup for Dplus Kia so far. Nobody really even stepping foot in the building, just trying to get all the odds and ends tied up to go for this big execution. With a minute remaining, Coded's going to try and adjust for this window. Yaz over on the far side. Something's got to give. He's going to give a little look-see over towards this angle, but P4, he works his way downstairs to Trench, and he will strike first onto Coded.
Now Dplus Kia really starting to feel that pressure. Even in a disadvantage, they know they have to go now, but Bibu's got it all lined up. He's tagged up the blitz, but the SMG-11 mag goes dry. Shinka's there, though. He's got 81 bullets to make up for the miss. 1v4 now for Soldier. The launch into the trophy window, it was slow, and it was a painful death to watch. And there is no tack timeout you can take, Soldier. If you just wait this 30 seconds out, it's only going to result in a loss on your map pick. Do the honorable thing, do the brave thing, face your death on your own map pick of Chalet with open arms and your head held high. He'll try his best with Case so far away, and P4, the run out to begin, the run out to end, and it bookends a dominant map for Wolves.
Fantastic stuff here from the Wolves, and what is showing here on Chalet, not their map pick, but one that they can definitely play to its fullest breadth. Ladies and gents, we're going to send you to a quick break. We'll be back with map 2.
Hey, I'm Dominique Clément, game designer on Rainbow Six Siege. If you want to get ready to confront the next addition to the Siege roster, here are a few advice. Maverick's Flaming Gadget might be that one tool you can always rely on when it's time to melt through the enemy's defense. Training your sharpshooter skills, and more specifically, with gadgets like Zophia's Lifeline, will come in very handy when it comes to countering the effect of her fresh new face. Finally, it wouldn't be Siege if explosions didn't have an impact on your game. And this season is the perfect moment to review your frag throwing skills, because a well-placed bang might just be what you need to clear you and your team a path to victory. That's all for now, but make sure you tune in to the full reveal to get all the information on what's coming next season. See you there.
Hello, it's Mugli from Worlds.
I'm Doki from G2 Esports. I'm NJR and I play for Dark Zero, and I'm ready to play some Drone in the Unknown.
Doki, NGR, watch out, I'm gonna beat you.
I'm gonna beat Mowgli. That's no problem. I could definitely beat G2. Okay, it's like a toilet or a sink. Ooh,
This box là, on the right side.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's blue stairs on bank.
It's gotta be bank.
Ah, I know. Blue stairs.
Yes, I knew it. Oh wait, where's the sink? Ah, I didn't know there was a sink there.
After seeing that, I'm confident for the rest of it.
Club kitchen.
The brick wall on the back is like, that's the whole theme of Clubhouse.
That's kitchen on Clubhouse.
No. I'm not playing in kitchen. I play in my room.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised.
To be honest, I should know them all. If I don't know them all, I'll be embarrassed. Oh no, I've spoke way too soon.
I think it's pink, but I'm not sure.
I'm seeing a painting.
It feels like it's a big room.
I'm not looking at the actual paint, I'm looking at the stuff around it.
Oh, this is Tellers on border.
Or is it consulate?
Bank lawyer's office, I guess.
I'm gonna say that it's border, Teller's archives.
Hey, it's what I said.
You said
I said, no? I said border, big room, tellers.
Oh, it was! Oh! Yeah, the ceiling. That's genius. That's genius for me.
Number 4. I'm seeing like a trophy case, some guns in them.
It's Pirates des Caraïbes.
So it's a gun cabinet, but the thing that I'm focusing on is the walls behind it. That's a very strange kind of brick.
Like, you know, it's like, yeah, trophy glasses, you know.
That's Chalet trophy.
I'm pretty sure it's Chalet trophy.
I'm right. Not surprised.
Oh, yes!
Oh, it's trophy. Let's go.
Oh, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. That is in consulate outside the garage breach.
Pretty sure it's consulate garage.
Consulate, garage. So easy. I'm not sure.
Let's go. That's how it's done.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the major. I'm known a lot for like speaking my mouth. We always shout at the enemy team, try and make people feel awkward. It's pretty evil when you think about it. Every team at this event fear us.
Tactics of their own to get into other people's heads, saying that they fear them, and making people know that they're still strong and ready to win another event.
I try not to hold on to revenge too much the past. If we were to play them again, it would just be like just that urge of competitiveness to beat them.
Definitely don't fear any teams, and I really don't see why G2 would be any different.
Don't we rightfully have an ego? You're coming into the most achieved team that this game has ever seen. Yeah, you should have an ego.
You gotta respect your opponents. Everyone up here is really good. I'm definitely not gonna let that change the way I'm thinking and the way I'm playing.
I'm trying to get people to have a good time, keep energy up, because in the end, energy carries everything into winning.
It's time to make history! behind a solid wall. The pings, they're all in his favor. There's a C4, but Souls does not care.
One kill away, and it's Volks to die. A new generation pick up where legends left off.
Wolves win 7-1 on map 1 Chalet, defeating Dplus. The screaming, the yelling, the barking. Their hearts, their minds, their all is here, and I am absolutely loving it. You know, yesterday I was chatting with Bibu and Mowgli, and they were like straight up, the passion and energy has not been at the level it should be at. Okay, well, they brought it today. That's all I'm going to say. They were barking at us earlier. Legitimately barking at us.
They were literally barking and woofing their way. They still are.
You can hear some woofing in the background. That's them, yes.
Yeah, I think the energy difference has to be talked about, right? I mean, the way that Wolves have been throughout the breakthrough after map 1 and even before, right? It feels like this team is so full of energy. They get up immediately after the game ends. They go outside. They're stretching their legs. DK, they're sitting the entire break. They're playing, they're talking. They really want to work these issues out, and I think you've got to read into that and just kind of understand that, well, the mentor from these two teams right now is on different levels.
We have a very fortunate position in where the desk is located inside of this studio. We had it in Copenhagen. We are literally stood between both of the teams.
Yeah.
Which means we are kind of prime time to rate their energy levels and how they're feeling. And I have never seen a fixture where one team is so high in energy, being up for it, having a good time, looking like they're enjoying being here, and then one team that is so low. Dplus have hardly said a word to each other since that first map finished.
No, they're looking down. They're not communicating at all. It's a massive disparity when it comes to energy levels right now. On a positive note, Bald Boo, as you both would like to call him now, popped off a little bit. Am I wrong? 1v2, some pretty good stats. Let's take a look here. Okay.
Still
they need to change that. That needs to be Bald Boo.
And still undefeated since he shaved off that haircut. That's all I am saying. No, excellent, because he went through the ringer.
Oh yeah.
There was a point yesterday where there was like 2.5 maps where he had 1 kill.
Yes.
And his mental fortitude, his resilience personally never mind the team. He's come back from that big 1v2 today.
Yeah, and I remember before Game 3 when he was sitting at, I think, a 1-14 stat line, we talked about it. He looked over at us at the desk and he just shrugged. Well, I think he's figured it out. Maybe he was a little bit lost as to what was going on, but it seems
and now he's just barking at us nonstop.
And now he's barking. Like, yeah, I think the 9-2 performance speaks for itself. He had that huge 1v2 clutch on Kitchen as well, where the other two players stuck up inside a solar. They couldn't come back. He planted the defuse kit, got both the frags as well. I thought he played really fantastic today, undoubtedly the MVP for map 1.
Okay, so I'm just thinking about how to phrase this. So with Dplus right now, obviously they're at a low.
Yeah.
Is there any way for them to come back here? Is there any way for them to bounce back?
Well, no. And the reason I say that is they picked one of Wolves' best maps. They've lost it, right? So they've lost their map pick so convincingly. 7-1. What do? You've now got to go onto Wolves' map pick that you're not particularly comfortable on.
Sure.
The map picks. Why? We got to elaborate. Okay,
I will say, right, we're going to Skyscraper. Skyscraper's always a dangerous map to pick in a best of 3 because it's extremely defender-sided. These bomb sites on this map are very, very good. And as we can see, Wolves start on attack. So what we need from Dplus is a momentum shift. And what Skyscraper does offer is big momentum swings for defensive teams. Now, obviously, they're going to need to get that energy level up. They're going to need to start playing a lot better. But I think the map will favor them as long as they're comfy on Skyscraper, and they didn't ban it, so I have to hope that they are. They do have that going for them.
Feels like the first round's going to be massive, right? Because this is a big momentum. Like, we talk about the energy. If Wolves get one round, that's, there's a theory in Siege that 1 round, 2 rounds snowballs. So if Wolves get the first round on the attack, I really, really, really do worry for Dplus here.
Yeah, and I will say as well, just looking at the stats from Dplus, historically, it's a great map for them. They did very well in Stage 1 on Skyscraper. This stage, they do have one play. It was a loss, but it was 8-6 to La Vega in the Korean League. We'll see if they can turn that around.
Are you sticking with your prediction then, Jesse?
Jackie, you know I'm not a flip-flopper. I'm going to stick with it. I think Dplus, they pull back at least one here.
Okay, well, as I like to say, we shall see. So I'm going to hand it over for map 2 to Stokes, Lynx, and Fox. Hey, gentlemen.
This dude's saying he's not a flip-flopper, bro. I worked the NAL, dude. I saw you flip-flop your predictions. Like, you're not slick. Do you know who this dude is?
It is true.
Corn Pop trying to tell me he's not flip-flopping.
Corn Pop. He's trying so hard to stay integral to the game. That's crazy.
I mean, but listen, if we're being honest, he said it was a close game against La Vega. So he's saying there's a chance, Fox. He's saying there's a chance.
Well, considering the first map, there was some promise in Dplus's early round. We talked about it. Their early round was really good. Their mid round was good. The late round was really bad. But as that number tallied up for Wolves' points, it began to look a lot more dire for Dplus, to the point where they brought a blitz. In a hope of desperation to get inside the map, they spent 3 minutes, accomplished no control of the map, and Blitz ended up getting shot, died down first one.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Sam, do you think that sounds good?
Well, and something to bring up one of Fox A's points that he said off camera, Blitz wasn't even the first one in the building either.
That's impressive.
It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. If you're going to try and set a strategy like that, you might want to play it maybe the way you thought. So either way, though, Skyscraper, a map that requires a heck of a lot of heavy lifting, especially from the offensive perspective. So much clearance required and a lot of good time management, something that we really didn't see out of Dplus Kia, but thankfully, they're going to be starting on defense.
Unlike Chalet, you are right. It does take a big effort for a team to win attacks. On Skyscraper, the operator bans are going to be a big focus. Wolves banning out Monty, Dplus banning out Ying. I like the Monty ban. APAC, obviously commonly known for running the shields. It is a prominent operator picked on Skyscraper. It's very easy to access the building. That's probably the hardest part, actually, is getting into the building. So the Monty is a big activator into walking in the building, getting that first step, getting that info, and info was the biggest issue for Dplus.
And importantly for Wolves, through that attacking ban phase, you talk about getting in the building, sometimes what we'll see is actually like a thermite ban or a hard breaching ban to make opening that geisha wall a lot harder. So Wolves able to have that hard breach. Attacking on Skyscraper is already rough, but having all of your hard breaching options available, it's a little bit more palatable.
Not to just mention that, but they also ended up banning the Cade. To make it that much easier, Cade is sometimes more optimal on Skyscraper than Bandit itself because you can throw it from a distance, especially in the geisha room. It's very easy to throw it from Black Box at a distance.
the timing is really weird because you can't really K-trick too many sites on too many maps, but this is one map where Cade is better than Mute and Bandit.
Thanks for some very interesting prospects here, especially with that mirror band coming through. This is another one of her highlight maps, but let's be honest, which one isn't? You can kind of play Mira wherever the heck you want. We've seen strategies with her time and time again across every single map, and Skyscraper definitely one of those. We saw some interesting ones, I think, yesterday, Fox, where we had some crazy openings from GK across the entire map, just opening things up to the mirror windows, but won't have access to that here for Dplus Kia.
Take note of what Woogieman is doing. He is barricading all the doors over by office side. He's barricading all the doors by black side, by T. Those doors are pivotal to stopping a late round roam or lurk. They have the mirrors for one side, obviously for a direct take, and then those barricades, you may think it's a barricade, you could just shoot it down.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But having those closed is actually so annoying as a player because sometimes you have to go through 2, 3 doors, and when you're shooting that many bullets or punching that many holes in the barricades, it gives away your position, and now you've lost the element of surprise.
Oh, absolutely. You sound like the Incredible Hulk coming through. You're smashing every window, door, and anything you can get your hands on. And like you said, it makes, even to where like a character like Nook, right? You're not allowed to sneak through anything anymore. You just have to deal with this damn barricade. But unfortunately for Wolves, it seems like they really want to try and set a focal point here directly onto the site.
Fast breaching from Wolves all over the map, opening up everything. P4 over on the back Lotus Bar side. He opened it up, coded so close to each other. Do they have any idea? The green push is going to come in. Harper's going to go down.
Oh my.
P4 in the sight.
He's just made his way in, but there's a very quick trade coded. They might not have known he was there. He's able to make it a far more easier situation for Dplus Kia to handle, but a familiar stat line. 4v3 for Wolves. They always drop 1, but they so often gain 2 in response. Bibu, he did the fragging very much on Chalet, but now planting the bomb. There's no response from Dplus Kia. Deadshot finishes off Woogieman. No response from the Azami. Barely any from Dplus Kia either. Yas has been inside a drum for about 8,000 years at this point. But there's simply no way he can make it back unless he wins the fight with that player on the balcony. Deadshot makes sure that's not even an issue, not even something that Wolves need to worry about. As Fresh, if you were worried, my friend, that this might be a quick game because Wolves want a quick Skyscraper attack, well, while Soldier might find one, this seems to be the round done and dusted for Wolves, no matter what Soldier can do.
Game plan in hand.
We gotta let him do it every time.
I love it. He kind of looks like a bobblehead a little bit, like every round, just shaking his head up and down.
I think we could start selling some Bibu bobbleheads. I would buy one, probably the first one in line.
Ubisoft, get on it.
Game plan in hand, though. All the walls open, the critical walls open. Top red wall uncontested, got it open. Office wall, one wall was soft, ashed open. They got P4 immediately set up over by the Lotus Bar, to ready to walk in. Look at this push. As soon as the wall got open, they didn't expect him to walk in. Got the first pick, got the trade. That's the opening into sight. Mowgli felt like he was on that green window for the whole round. He ended up taking down... No, he actually did not take down Yas, but he kept Yas at bay for a lot of the round, and it left Soldier in a 1-on-3 alone. They didn't have an answer for the plant either. A lot of times, when you're setting up a defense, you have to anticipate losing your site player. What's your response to get back into the site? It didn't look like Dplus have one. They didn't have a C4 from below. And again, they lack the information on what Wolves is doing. They don't have a response for it either.
Yeah, and once again, this time around, though, obviously, it's going to be kind of a different thing. Dplus Kia aren't going to have the Valkyrie, but she's not banned out, so no info game coming in here. And that pacing from Wolves was so incredible, Fox. It discombobulated the entire play. They get that big kill moment there. Yas has to try and respond from drum. It's just not something that they really had anything in the cards for.
I can't even spell discombobulated.
Oh, my sweet summer chat. We'll 2 to you after the game. But one thing I do want to note real quick, because we have the Dokkaebi in play, but it's not P4 playing her. Instead, it's Bibu, but P4's put himself on the Nook. He's been the lurker so far for Wolves, and I think they're really leaning into it now with that op placement.
We have seen Mowgli be the confident entry for Wolves, but P4 has built his confidence up in the last map, and it looks like in his play calls, in his adaptations, he's putting himself on that first man in. He has a good understanding of exactly where Dplus players are going to be. Oh.
Just smoked.
Mowgli's going to take down Harper. And that's the first pick jumping in. A little bit of tag damage. He's going to quickly jump out the map, slow down, take their time, figure out their next steps.
We're back to that reset. Talked about it earlier, and it's one of the key things in Rainbow Six Siege. When you get these moments like this, you get a Harper, you get a pick, you're able to reassess and reinsert. Maybe this logic bomb, a telltale sign, but it's more than likely just them trying to gather info game. But P4, nice little layer working in here from Pantry.
Just when they bring the Echo for that information, they're just not playing off of it too well. It's getting shot, and now they're losing that. Now you have Echo for no reason. If you're losing the Echoes that fast, you're losing your info.
You're losing Black Stairs control too. Mowgli able to push up. There's no rotate, so it's not complete control. The Wolves have found a beachhead on the second floor now. They need to work around it. They still haven't opened up the geisha wall, so there is still plenty of work to do, but Wolves have already made great progress, and Mowgli definitely seems to be the guy leading the way.
We're here now for Wolves. A minute remains, and they got that geisha wall open. They just had to address the rest of the map and make sure that things were safe for them to try and get into these pivotal positions. Mowgli with a beautiful nade, and that's what that info matrix is for. They know that player is standing up top in karaoke, and he's dead to rights to the grenade.
Really taking their time to clear out the information. That's the second yokai down. Not only for that, but they ended up getting a nade pick, and now they have full control of exactly what they need. They're going to commence into the site. Mowgli's going to get one. He's going to get taken down swiftly by Coded. A 2v4. It's anybody's game, but Echo's going to go down. Wookiee's going to go. But Coded's going to get one in a 1v3. Swiftly traded out by Deadshot.
Fox, I had to correct you there. That was not anybody's game. That was Wolves' game.
I feel like when
the pack was circling, man. They saw prey.
I just got into that play-by-play. I had to keep the element alive. I had to keep like the energy, the potential, you know?
Honestly, I mean, you know, I respect it. I respect the chops. I respect the vision. But unfortunately for Dplus Kia, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of vision on these defenses. It's a lot of stagnant play. And listen, I get it. Skyscraper is not a map where you need to go for these crazy flanks, right? Not a map where you need to go for these super aggressive plays. You have two of the best choke points on the map in Drum and Shrine. If you can just keep them intact, a lot of the times you can win the round. But for Dplus Kia, I mean, Wolves seem to be given so much for free. They're just staying in these positions, waiting for Wolves to push them.
Yeah, the perfect, just in a vacuum moment, that initial peek we saw, right? Mowgli is just standing on the window, and the guy just swings him from front desk. That's a very simple coin flip gunfight, but Mowgli has been so on. So, kind of a difficult moment there for Dplus Kia as they're trying to use those mechanics to pull it back across the line.
I love that early round activity from Wolves too. Spent the whole start of the game just getting in below. P4 and Mowgli trying to find those roamers. Once they shut down the roamers downstairs, they stopped. They stopped, and that's been the common theme for Wolves. They stop, they open up the walls, they gather the next steps, they get drones in the position. Just to make things better, they also got a beautiful nade before executing into the site. Once they have everything they need, they go for it. Dplus needs to understand that. They need to stop the bleeding while they can. Don't let their roamers get picked. And then when Wolves is setting up in that position, they have to go and try to disrupt that setup.
Yeah, kind of a detriment to their own health right now. Man. And once again, Mowgli from a window. Somebody hears the window open, and they cannot stop themselves, Fox.
No, they're hemorrhaging so hard right now.
Mowgli's laughing, guys. He was literally laughing after that kill. Wolves just don't care. I mean, Mowgli had a career game against M80 yesterday, a complete rebuild for his confidence, and 5-1 right now might not seem like an insane stat line, but for Wolves, the win yesterday and certainly the match today, the work that has already done to feel that they still have a chance in this tournament, its impact cannot be overstated. 5v3 again established for Wolves, 2 rounds in a row.
Everything's just working on all cylinders for Wolves. If Dplus want to be able to get a leg back in this game, they need a pivotal stop, not just to win the round, but to win the momentum. It looks like they're not playing off of each other. They're not making plays together to find that opening, to find that leg up. We need the energy out of them that they are so very lacking.
Very stressful, very strainful. P4, a moment here now. Dplus Kia. They'll open the gates, and Coded will get another one. Wolves try and power their way in, but Dplus Kia finally slammed the door shut. Woogieman with some damage dealt to him, Harper as well, and some times for Wolves to try and recreate the wheel here, especially with Mowgli alive. Anything is possible.
Oh, he just sees him a little bit. He saw the little sliver of his head, but too far around the corner. They've got the intel. He's trying to fight it. He does! You gotta be kidding me, man. That's the power of intel in Rainbow Six. Dplus Kia fought so hard. They clawed back that advantage thanks to Woogieman, thanks to Coded. And now suddenly it's been erased. Wolves have the leg up on them in terms of HP as well, and Shinka's made his way onto house stairs, and look at this slow rotation. Mowgli crouch walking on the balcony to add a new dimension to Wolves' push, but Kodit's watching. He should be able to get this, an easy micro flick. But this is Shinka on the 1v2. There's a Kiba in his way, but he's got 30 seconds to work with.
Low health on both of these targets too, so most definitely doable, but would still be a highlight reel moment here for the Wolves. They've barely given up anything in this series so far, but Dplus Kia could finally find a round on this defense that they so desperately looked for. Woogieman especially, a huge star player here on this defense.
That was a nice crossfire at the end there. That's what we want to see at a Dplus. The teamwork, the communication to put themselves, set themselves up. We didn't just want a close round. We need a definite momentum changer in Dplus's favor, especially on the defense. Skyscraper is one of those maps where it's very defender-sided. You need to be able to get more than just 3. When you go 3-3 as an attack, you've definitely felt like you've done your job. The ideal goal is for a 4-2 split. They've already given Wolves their 2. They only got 1.
And that's potentially one of those rounds, as you said, that the momentum needed to come back. But if Dplus Kia lose, I mean, 0-3 on Skyscraper defense, you got to call attack timeout. Houndbird's probably got to get in the server and say, all right, guys, let's calm down. The game's not over. But it's one of those moments that if Wolves, even if it was a 2v3, if they clutch that, the mental can get chalked so quickly. So Dplus Kia getting that round, obviously it's important for the in-game ramifications. But for the out-of-game ramifications, what the players are feeling, that was instrumental of a victory to get.
The last time we saw Dplus Kia defend T Karaoke, Wolves spent their whole first minute finding the roamers, isolating those picks. Dplus Kia looking to extend over onto the house side instead of down below into the first floor, changing it up. Wolves in suit will obviously be spawning over by the house side as well, because it looks like Wolves' game plan is to isolate those roamers. So well-placed drone placement to understand where Dplus Kia's players are. And now they're setting up to potentially get their first leg in through the door over by house side.
This is a standard line here on Skyscraper. Try and extend yourself across, right? Delay things out. Force Wolves onto bad timing, but you can see Mowgli, the gears are already turning. That logic bomb out. He hears Soldier on the other end of this, and these gunfights are going to mean a lot.
Oh, but there's a shotgun just around the corner. Mowgli still wins it, but the trade is true. 2 shotguns are better than 1, but only 1 will eventually make it out. Deadshot looking for the trade, but the defenders have backed off. He only works his way into Exhibition and Office. P42 has worked up the house stairs. The nade hits Harper in the face, but it's cooked a little too less, and he's able to retreat further back into Shrine.
Mowgli didn't go down for nothing. They got full house control, the rest of Wolves setting up, and now this is where we're going to see them slow down, set their drone up, gather the info. Dplus is still in a good position. They have drum control and shrine control. Not a lot of verticality out of Wolves so far. Dplus will have to stop their push every time Wolves gets into a groove where they get into this position, they gather the info. They want you to stay still. They want you to do nothing because they are setting up for the attack. The adaptation is on its way. How will Dplus try to manage to move? Will they be able to read into this without any info for them?
And we're going to move Bibu across over to Karaoke. He's going to get a drone up top and start checking things out. Solid positioning here for this drone. Going to be able to find the bandit here inside of Geisha. Shinka still has to try and deal with this wall as well, and that's going to be the last EMP out of Bibu. So hope that it hits its mark there for the EUL fans at home. But for all intents and purposes, Dplus Kia have also done their job, Fox. They've been able to delay time. They still have control of this central hallway, but if Shinka hits a shot, my God, he's going to open up the floodgates now. Woogieman responds in kind, but there's still time for Wolves to make this happen.
And P4 just immediately takes control of Drum. Him and Shinka doing the most, but Yas catches him with his guard down. A 1v1 now, and Shinka on lower HP. Wolves are normally in more comfortable advantages than this, but Shinka's got to find 1 kill to get Wolves their 3rd attack. Flashbang goes out, he spots him, he gets the kill as Harper's caught sprinting. Wolves are starting to reach critical mass as 3 Skyscraper attacks. That's dangerous territory for Dplus Kia.
As a great man once said, why are you running? Why is Harper running there? He actually got hit with the flashbang. I don't know if you guys saw his HP, but he took the flashbang straight to the chin.
Honestly,
it's twice in 1 round.
You gotta respect that a little bit.
Oh,
he
yeah.
just tanks it in the face.
Oh, yeah.
A little uncooked nade action and a stun all meeting their opponents before they go off in that round. And speaking of going off, Dplus Kia on the timeout. Probably the perfect time to call it. As Fox said, this is a split that you don't want, guys. Skyscraper is a heavily defender-sided map. We see 4 2s, we see 5 1s. I mean, when you're staring down the barrel of 3 offensive rounds from your opponent, you're looking at a huge risk.
Each round after this is just the shovel hitting the dirt, digging the grave a little more, making it a little more difficult to climb back out. The attacks, we go over it so often. It's so difficult to get those attacks round. That round from Wolves, though, was not difficult at all. They took exactly what they needed. In trade for Mowgli, 1v1 trade, they have exactly what they need. And then while they gather that info, the whole team adapts. They leave P4 in the position that they've grabbed. They completely rotate to the other side of the map, pushing in through Shine. Shinka, the entry on the Thermite.
Yeah,
just ridiculous.
Thank you. That was the moment for me right there.
This is also the second time, by the way, Dplus Kia have taken a tactical timeout down 3-1 on their defenses. But think about it this way. They did that on Chalet when it was their map pick, but defense is still not one of the, the easiest sides on Chalet to win, right? Attack is typically favored. This is a much different situation. On the defenses, Dplus Kia take the same tactical time the same round.
Guys.
I just looked
Do you
back
see
at
where
the
we
screen.
are?
What? Oh, God,
Fox.
no.
This isn't the worst sight. I mean,
shut up.
Obviously, Dplus is trying to throw something at the ceiling and make it stick. They obviously need something pivotable that gets that momentum back. This game is a momentum-based game. Wolves every round, even when it's a light round, Bebo is screaming. He's screaming. He's shaking his head. I don't think I've seen Dplus get hyped once.
That's true. I mean, this is definitely one of the quieter teams. They mentioned it on the desk. They come into the arena, they T-hunt for like 30, 45 minutes, and they say, I'm excited. See, partying right there. They get excited. They say, all right, let's play our game, whatever. But they're not very excitable. But if this is the way they try to regain the momentum, Sam, and if it works, we'll certainly be singing their praises.
Yeah, most definitely, especially on a site like this. A lot of verticality going to be coming into this, and that's why you see Dplus with the dedicated bodies upstairs.
We haven't seen that much adaptability from Dplus, but on Wolves' end, they're bringing the forest. They're dealing with the castles. They're dealing with the Azamis. The Mute Jammers aren't stopping the forests at all. Wolves is completely clearing all of the objectives that Dplus are putting in Wolves' way. And again, I hate to harp on this fact, Harper on this fact. But again, I would love to see an info operator of some sort for Dplus for those late rounds.
Are you considering the 2 bulletproofs?
I am considering them, but they're getting cleared so often. Info operator doesn't necessarily just mean cameras, but a Valk would be great here. A Solus would be great here. They keep running traps, and it hasn't really stumped Wolves so far. They've been shooting the Kapkans. They've been hitting 1 or 2 Legions, but that isn't a game-changing operator.
But Soldier, talk about game-changing. He's holding down this upstairs position with those Kiba barriers, prolonging how long he can hold the office position. Mowgli's entry also through the delivery hall, being stifled a little bit down on that first floor. Wolves aren't finding the same early success that they have in the past, and it's resulting in likely what could be one of the most precarious positions they've been in, but I hated to speak the opposite into existence. Deadshot has now found Woogieman, and P4 has found his way into the bomb site. There's no one from Dplus Kia even looking at this man.
Oh, key moment here. Coded, what a shot onto Mowgli. He'll take him down, and that frag grenade that was intended for one of his teammates, I believe over in delivery, is going to end up keeping him alive. Soldier with a nice moment there, but Deadshot, once again, when they need him most, he shows up to the party, and he'll take out 2 in this round.
And it looks like Wolves knows that they're not going to be able to get a foot in this leg. Harper's going to take out Bibu from top floor. Deadshot following suit from Coded. The aggression from Dplus not letting up even in the 3-on-3. Shinka was trying to rotate to his teammate, tried him to get a little bit more of a positioning advantage, maybe drop the hatch, but now he's a man on a mission, alone. He's going to get the first one to start this push.
Well, hold on. There's 2 1v1s here. It is a little low on time. But they have intel on him. That BP does spot Shinka's position, and the rest of the Dplus Kia defenders retreat. And gentlemen, my friends, can you believe it?
Wait, why is no one pushing him?
Okay. Oh man, Fox and I were both about to have a heart attack.
When he was
I'm just like, I'm narrating over the round. I'm like, guys, they're winning Master Bedroom. I'm not even looking at the screen. And then I'm like, why isn't the round ended?
Coded just started shooting his, he emptied his mag into the wall, and they just assumed that he was going to get off the plant or the round was over, but no one was actually pushing the guy planning. Got scary for a little bit.
They got the round.
They did get the round.
On Master Bedroom in Office 2. You talked about just throwing something and seeing if it sticks, and I feel like that was the most we've seen Wolves really stumped at how to clear. I mean, even when you had, say, that karaoke and T round where it was, Shinka needed to get that kill behind Drum to really open it up, at least there, they had an idea and they were moving, right? Wolves felt very stagnant.
You guys laughed at the site choice, but I've seen that site choice before. It is one of those uncommon ones. If you have the aggression that Dplus clearly had in that round, and you're constantly moving around it, it's very difficult to get a good bearing of where you need to push, what the hold is like, because you don't see it so often.
Yeah. I'm really happy you said that, actually, because I feel like they look at that top floor and they're like, I don't want to mess with this. Let's just try and mess with the site directly and see if we can get some big picks.
Yeah, Wolves opened up the walls and they left lone Bibu up there as the Thatcher. And we talked about game-changing. The Azami was able to close off those holes. There wasn't really much that Bibu could do because he was on the Thatcher. The rest of the team from Wolves tried to hit the site, but you left Dplus in the power position, which is that top floor. We saw Shinka try to make an effort to get to his teammate, but it was too little too late at that point. He was left in a 1v3. And that was a very good round from Dplus on an unconventional bomb site.
Yeah, just goes to show you, if you hold the piece of the map that's so pivotal to a site like that, right, you can get it to go off without a hitch. And very well done there from Dplus Kia. We tried to laugh you out of the map, but you guys proved us wrong. Well, except for Fox, obviously. A little confidence over there on that end of the desk. So shout out to Foxy on that one. Round 6, though, on the docket now, and a desperate round here for Dplus Kia as they still really, really need this. A 4-2 split for the offensive side is nothing to shake a stick at.
Oh my, look at this pinch they've got set up right here. P4 and Mowgli on two different sides. They spotted Soldier down below, but he got Coded, tagging up Mowgli quite extensively. The nade flies in, but Coded just finds the one corner. It's the follow-up nade that gets it done. Soldier looking to trade off this position, though. Coded might fall, but now it's so many defenders all trying to hold this first floor, but Wolves are cutting them down one by one. A nice find from Harper. He might find a couple more. P4 just walks in, loses his life, and there's two more Wolves attackers who are looking to take the fight. They all funnel in one by one, and Dplus Kia's rotation down into Master Bedroom and Office might just win 2 rounds in a row from this exact same position. Bibu now on 1 HP, and in a very, very strange turn of events, Dplus Kia will end this half likely with a dominant victory, all in 2 rooms on the first floor.
The designated target of Harper not being found downstairs, and the collapse from Dplus to come to his rescue. He was able to hold his own, but we saw Coda drop the hatch. He was obviously in the Hell in the Cell. He was the first man to go, but then we saw the rest of his team drop down the hatch.
Bellingo!
Hit the 911 call, and the whole squad showed up right there. Dplus Kia, what an effort on that basement floor. They were not going to let that man go quietly into the night, and look what it did for him, Fox. So many kills, Bibu on low HP. Nothing really to do here, and they know exactly where this man is, especially after that goo mine. He has to try and get through this Kiva barrier. Still has one in Dragon, and the impact. Actual insult to injury here is a poor salt inside of this wound. Bibu just trying to elongate things, but he's dead to rights to Woogie Man. And they'll at least, at a bare minimum, be able to tie things up on this defensive side.
I'd like to mention that was the first round that Dplus ran the Valk, and it was almost their most significant win by far.
It was their second one. But, was it? Yeah, but I can't blame you because the first time they ran it, nothing happened with Valkyrie. So I'm pretty sure she died as like the second person
Fair
and we
enough.
didn't get a cam. So
I guess what I meant was that was the first round where the Valkyrie seemed to be a play with the cameras. Yeah, the information that the cams were able to get allowed this, I don't want to say retake because they never dealt with Harper, but the collapse, the Valcam is what inevitably led them to that information, and obviously Harper maintaining a big majority of that downstairs. Wolves was actually clearing out people around Harper. They never really got to him, and by that time, Too little, too late. But the 3-3 half, we talked about it.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Can you be happy with a 3-3 half? Wolves is obviously more comfortable on the defense.
I mean, that's the big question, right? It's a 3-3 half ultimately, but if we want to take away another positive for Dplus Kia, one criticism we had for those early Skyscraper defenses was it seemed like they weren't playing off each other. They weren't coordinating, weren't playing off each other's contacts, and it seemed like 5 players just holding their positions. But what we saw in that round was everyone trying to bail Harper and Soldier out of there, trying their best to make that situation work. And while it won't manifest the same on the attack, it seems that coordination started building over the course of that defensive half, culminated in round 6, and that's still a trait you can easily apply to the attack, especially on Skyscraper when you're trying to clear out power positions. If they can keep that coordination, this honestly could be a close game.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I've heard that before.
You're not lying.
I'm also loving the Solus out of Bibu so far. The Amaru is going to be someone I want to keep an eye on, though. An explosive round, if you have an explosive Amaru round, that could be enough to change the tides.
Especially when it comes to this site, there's a lot of different options you have, right? Go for something like Geisha play, but usually what we see is the setup for karaoke, right? They want to fly in that karaoke window, have some utility going abound, maybe, you know, pop Soldier's E1D, get those guns hot, and then while all that action's happening, Coded is able to fly in and be that kind of dagger for the cloak that Dplus Kia is setting up.
It looks like before Coded goes for that significant play, the rest of his team is going to grab a little bit more positioning over on the house side to potentially sell a fake to make it that much easier for Coded to be able to get into the site.
Woogieman wants that gunfight on house stairs, or at least he's cutting it off right now, stopping that rotation from the Solus down onto the first floor. We're still waiting to see what Coded has to offer. He's on the rappel, but Gara hooking is really out of the question on this particular position. He'll just hold the upside-down angle instead. This can be an equal nuisance on that top floor, but it's another very slow start for Dplus Kia. We know these slow attacks don't always bear fruit, and we'll really need to see what the plan is for the late round.
Something we saw on the few attack rounds that Dplus had on Chalet was they spent so much time setting up, so much time droning, so much time making the perfect push that they never really started the push in the first place. Now they've opened everything up, but Wolves has not fallen back. They've really let themselves, let their confidence lead them. They're still playing the positions that Dplus opened up the walls and put all their resources. They know nobody's there, but the site is also empty on the other side.
Finally see the Gara hook from Coded. He flies into karaoke. How will Wolves react? One player close on Geisha. That's an easy pre-fire for Coded to make work, but Wolves are able to trade it out as they are still holding those positions that they've been in for the entirety of the preceding 2 minutes and 15 seconds. 4v3 established, 4v2 effectively. Well, not so. Spoke too quickly as Woogieman finds one. It's instead traded down to an equal man count. Woogieman, who was playing patiently for so much in this round, Sam, is just starting to work his way up, and now Dplus Kia have control of the diffuser.
Yeah, and that info game working out. You saw the ping come out. They know the case is over here inside of Geisha. With 20 seconds remaining, Woogieman and Soldier must pick up the pieces to this round and try and find an answer for their very first offense. Woogieman's going to move in right off of Geisha. He's got T control, but does he know that Bibu's right around the corner? Line in anticipation. Deadshot will get the first one, and it'll get Soldier off the case. He has to try and propel himself forward and find these kills, but the patience out of Wolves, the patience out of Bibu is rewarded, and they will find their very first defense.
Wolves knew exactly what they were doing there. They obviously knew nobody was on red, but they were holding the control to make sure that they held that side of the map. I don't think they anticipated the Amaru, but they knew a push was coming through Geisha. If you hold top red side, you can actually maintain green and jump control and hold Geisha from drum, which is stopping that side of things. But the Amaru, I think, was the surprising factor, going in through that window, getting the first pick, but traded shortly after. And when you have the Solus, you don't have to worry about not knowing where the plant's coming from or playing inside of karaoke itself, because the Solus will always be able to give you info, and that site is so difficult to plant in. Especially with that Solus, it gives you the info. You can shoot through all of those walls. And as you can see, they didn't even have any rotate until after. The player who was playing top black ended up making their own rotate later in the round. So they obviously anticipated that karaoke was going to be the site that they wanted to attempt to attack.
Yeah, I mean, they had a setup that was really hard holding T, but if they decided playing karaoke, it was so easy to react to that position. It was built into the possibility that, all right, we're going to really watch this side, but if they push here, we have this, this, and this. That should make it a lot easier. Good start from Wolves, and if we see another strong defense on Exhibition and Office, Dplus Kia really need to start worrying. They were able to catch Wolves off guard, and honestly, that's a good sign for these future attacking rounds. But if Wolves start to get comfortable, start to anticipate these plays from Dplus Kia, it's going to be a big problem. And there's no Amaru right now for the attack. This is a much more utility-focused lineup, so how are Dplus Kia going to surprise Wolves again?
Much more mainline siege on this one. The Sledge will be here to handle the castle barricades. Deadshot could try and go for some antics here, but I highly doubt we see anything too aggressive just yet. We're going to see what the initial volley is going to be from Dplus Kia. And Dplus, a lot more mainline setup like you were talking about. They're also going to work the Maverick in here, which is fantastic for some of these key positions where you could see somebody like Bibu try and hold up a couple of these walls.
I love the intuition play to bring Maverick just in case a Bandit or a Mute was to come in. You don't have to run the EMP gadgets. That allows Gridlock to be able to bring the newly added nades in this last season. Harper's going to get an aggressive pick on for 1, on 2.
Oh.
The flank came in, but the flank got shortly shut down.
I will say, it's only 4-3, but throughout this tournament, sometimes when Wolves have thrown leads, it starts with Deadshot and Mowgli getting aggressive, trying to make a play, and then end up punished for it. Certainly what happened in the Bliss game, and here it's caused a 5v3 going against Wolves.
It looked like Wolves started that retake a little too early. The castle on the drum doorway wasn't even cleared, and it looked like if they timed it perfectly with that castle being cleared, then Bibu and Shinka would have been able to impact the flank and play. Oh my gosh. Bibu just slipping off the roof, falling straight into Woogieman downstairs.
I mean, this is such a difficult round at this point for Wolves. 5v2 established for Dplus Kia. Shinka really stuck inside a shrine. Thankfully he's close to the bomb side at least, but that roam just not paying off for Wolves. Punished for it even further with Bibu cut off in the rotation. The way back into this round seems very dark.
Much better idea about how to handle things over on this T side. And as you guys were saying, Wolves doing their damnedest to try and reinsert themselves onto that portion of the map, but Dplus Kia have everything implemented to make sure those rotations aren't successful. And instead, Wolves give over the goods. All of the bodies now on the floor, but I mean, we're not out of this just yet, guys. It's a 2 versus 5, but this timer is eating at Dplus Kia.
Shinka will creep up, try to punish them for this low time. That's a 1v1 he can win to make it a 2v4. That's still the odds they're fighting against. He needs to win this fight with Yas. It's got to happen here. Sees him first, but only for just a second. Yas only trying to gain intel, distract Shinka away from the rest of the site, as so much of Dplus Kia is pushing house side. Where is this push? Woogieman finally moves on in. P4 spots one, but there's the trade from Coded. It is very late. It is very, very late. But Dplus Kia still hit their mark. Tie the game.
That almost got very ugly. Thank God Coded was right next to the plant. The diffuser was going down right next to the desk. If Coded was not there to save it in time, there was almost no time left to get the case down. P4 could have just stood up, shot the case. That would have been the round. But thankfully for Dplus, they were in the right place at the right time.
Definitely gets worrisome, but that's also the beauty of man count, right? You can lose a couple bodies, get some info, and it's not going to really go right as long as you're within arm's reach. But as you said, Coded not there, things definitely could have gone wrong. But fortunately for Dplus Kia, they're able to build off of that round and find some success here on this offense.
Speaking of going wrong, Wolves is going to call that timeout, talk a little bit about what went wrong, and they're still keeping that energy up. I think they know exactly what they need to fix. I think I hit the head on the nose. The head on the nose.
You got it.
The nail on the head?
The nail on the head.
There you go.
I think I got it mostly right. I think the flank retake was supposed to be as soon as they got to drum, and it was going to be a 4-prong attack of once they got close to drum, Shinka and Bibu were going to be able to capitalize off of the flank, because the flank looked contested. Obviously, the castle was there. That's the only spot they had to look at because they weren't at that step yet. So a little bit of communication, a little bit of overzealousness. Obviously, when you win the first map so decisively, there's going to be rounds like that. We've been seeing Wolves take a lot of risks in this map. Obviously, the confidence is leading that.
That's what Lylun was trying to do right there. I mean, just rebuild that confidence. Obviously, spend the first, 2/3 sort of going over I mean, I don't speak French, but I assume going over tactics, talking about strategy, the problems they had. But the final third was dedicated entirely to bringing that energy level back up. I mean, Wolves won one round in Chalet, literally one round, and Bibu was losing his mind. And then since then, it's been a little quieter, obviously because they've lost certainly far more rounds than they did on Chalet. But certainly, I think that initial burst of momentum they achieved at the opening of Chalet, and even at the end when they won that map 7-1, it sort of tapered off, and now they want to try to regain that, of course, that energy, that confidence, but not have it at the cost of, say, composed play.
Wolves going to be defending the kitchen bomb site. I don't believe we saw Dplus go to that bomb site.
We did not.
They prompted for the more uncommon one, but the operator lineup that they're bringing with the Ram, that's very interesting. That Ram is just going to be destroying maybe a little barbed wire.
Not the LMG.
The prime spot on this site to hold is up top. Oh, Soldier aggressive pick on the P4. That's the Solus down. That's going to lead into the point that I was going to make, that they have all this information to play from up top, because you can stop every plant in the site with the Solus, with the Valk, from vertical angles. You want to hold up top. The Ram looks a little questionable to me because you never really get into a position where you can use that Ram. And as I say that, he just throws it smack dab in the middle, but it will be taken down. But it did do a little bit of destruction.
Be able to at least open up some angles here, but as you said, you still have to have the body there in the first place to be able to work said angles, and Woogieman is going to have to try and deal with some pretty hot threats in the area.
So far, those holes are only going to be used for the defenders. You have to actively get into top floor, and Wolves knows that. That's why they're holding it so strong. They have their Fenrir in sight, because if he goes down, he still has his gadgets all over the site. He is the least valuable player. Well, not least valuable player, least valuable operator to go down first. Wolves want Dplus to take the site so that they can play top down.
Well, they have it for the moment. Bibu not pressured whatsoever. Dplus Kia playing so slowly. They have nice drones, some inside of the site, some inside of Karaoke. This patience game, well, if Mowgli takes that gunfight, Dplus Kia will be fine to take it. Their patience will be rewarded. They have the 5v4. They have the advantage they need encoded in what is often the game-breaking position on this site inside of delivery, trying to hit that lurk. Finally, Dplus Kia start pushing in. The C4 lands. That's a 4v4. They shut down the delivery flank too. Bibu in this corner the entire game. Cuts down Harper the moment he walks through the double. And almost poetically, stuck on the rappel, Woogieman sails into a failed attack. It's not explosive, but Wolves stand their ground, and the confidence is absolutely back.
Bibu is saying, beautiful guys, for those at home who don't speak French.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. But that round, building up exactly how you said it was going to, Fox. They try and address that top floor, try and use those boogie drones, but they're really just giving over new angles to the defense. And I mean, it finally dawns on them, hey, we have to take control of this top floor, but they don't really have the means necessary. And not only that, but Wolves have so many bodies, they can even reinsert themselves on that top floor to guarantee that that control does not go over to the offense.
Absolutely. We saw the amazing information that Dplus had all over the site. Those drones were disgusting. They saw almost everything that you needed. But what Dplus decided to do, instead of focusing all of their operators, all of their utility on taking one side or one floor, they all prompted to take their own 1v1s. We saw Ace walking into Geisha to take the 1v1 on the top player. We saw a player push through service. We saw a player push through site. Everyone took their own 1v1.
Yeah.
And none of them worked.
Oh, guys. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, it's okay. We were kind of just doing our own thing over here, but it's fine. I guess you can butt in.
Okay, but like it's kind of important because Woogieman's pulling the blitz back out again, and I wasn't a big fan of what happened last time.
Yeah, but I mean, Dplus Kia have done some, oddities inside of this map, and it's worked for them, so let's not cross that bridge just yet. Let's just hope that he's the first one in the building this time.
That'd be an improvement.
You do usually see the Monty playing around Black Door, but the blitz would have to be for their entry. I assume he's going to jump in through Sword Window and be the first point of contact, but there's a lot of Wolves members behind Deadshot, able to come in swift assistance if needed. The information on this player is there. Will the blitz commit? He is the one droning for himself, so now that the information's gone, nobody's gathering info for his push.
Oh, the cut.
Oh.
Mowgli. I think he knows he's here too. Let's see the mechanics, baby. Back and forth we go. He won't land his shot. Cut down to about half HP here, but Mowgli's been so damn good throughout this game so far. The Legion Mine gonna go on Woogie's foot. He can't sprint anymore. And this is one of the biggest risks with Blitz. That shield doesn't cover you fully. He's taking a lot of damage, and he's dead to Mowgli. Soldier will at least be able to take down Deadshot, but it's a 4 versus 4 now.
And Wolves are fighting for every inch of this exhibition in the office position. Bibu even rotating down below to give any intel, but just to provide another angle, provide some support for the players playing inside a house. Mowgli trying to get aggressive. Don't overheat. He impacts Soldier. He decapitates Gas. P4 follows up to get in on the action. Wolves all rotate to office, and they send it to match point.
Wait, I think I got it. Let's go, guys. Beautiful round. I think that's what he said.
Wait.
Belligo! He's pretty much just saying beautiful, guys.
Oh,
pretty much.
Well, it has been beautiful, especially that round there. Dplus try and be explosive on the top floor, but they have the right things in the right places for the Wolves' sake to slow things up practically immediately.
I do like the surprises that Dplus is bringing. We've seen the Amaru, we saw the Blitz. In theory, the idea on paper could work out, but Wolves was set up in such a fashion where Deadshot would be the first player that Wolves would have to contact. And he is also in the hardest part of the house side to get to, because all you need is the 2-prong behind him with a player Lotus Bar and a player on Shrine. They push in, they protect Deadshot from top red, from Lotus Bar. It's very difficult to get to him. Those Legion traps completely stop Blitz from pushing, and he got shot down.
10 seconds left.
I mean, for Wolves, now reaching match point. They won Chalet so dominantly. Skyscraper a bit more of a fight, but on 6-4, the most important thing they've done at this point is regain that momentum. Huge performance from Mowgli yesterday. Before that, having a rough tournament. Huge performance from Mowgli right now, 17-7. Even Bibu recovering a little bit in map 1, but getting your star player back performing with these numbers is so important. But for Dplus Kia, they're trying to rely on an old favorite that we saw earlier on Skyscraper to use that Amaru, surprise the site players from Wolves, but it's a different bomb site this time.
Wolves' game plan, stalling out information, forcing Dplus to get inside the map. Nice little exchange, little bit of shots back and forth. No one's gonna lose their life for that, though. It's like a good little skirmish. Woogie Man looking to jump straight into the building over by bottom black stairs. He's gonna walk in.
And walk up.
Zelmg in hands. Key weapon, especially that 1.5. Seen many a man get quite dirty with that thing. It's gonna be Mowgli that actually strikes first, and you said it was a life game yesterday for Mowgli, but my God, 18-7-6, practically the Grim Reaper, and maybe sending Dplus Kia home.
Woogie Man facing some shots through the wall of Karaoke and Team. Even the basics of Exhibition and Office are currently escaping Dplus Kia, trying to open up this wall, but Mowgli is barely naded.
It's not that really, it's all in the timing on that one, Carter. Look at that right there, isn't that beautiful? He might lose a little life, Fox, but he gets it muted.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they banned the Cade for a reason. They expected to do this. They expected to bring the Mute, the Bandit, to deny those walls. We saw Wolves aggressively get those walls open.
Did. Boogeyman still not yet found a way to open up this round. Knows someone's in the corner, but they just C4 the opposite side of the wall. P4 has got the trap mine waiting inside of the delivery hallway, and Wolves are just slowly cutting down Dplus Kia one man at a time.
He did that blind. I like the effort from Harper to try and, I guess, be in the area, but the trades aren't there efficiently. P4,
it's
so strong. One more? Give it to him.
I mean, listen, Mowgli's 18-7. Should we give him the 19, or do you think P4 deserves
Yas
his
can
11th
do it.
kill? You think Yas can do it? What the hell is
There's
P4
one.
Oh, that was a crazy shot. but all it is impactless. A sparky flick to still send Dplus Kia home, and Wolves continue regaining the momentum as they move into their potentially final best of 3 of Atlanta.
What an insane matchup between these two. After the first map, it didn't look like Skyscraper was going to be so hotly contested. It looked like it was just simply going to be a byproduct of this series, but at the end of the day, Dplus Kia was more than capable of trying to take it to Wolves. Back and forth they go, but Wolves, what a heck of a series. What a great showcasing of what they can do here on Skyscraper.
Those 3 maps were obviously some of Wolves' best maps, but they really look like the better team out there, having a response for everything that Dplus was trying to throw at them. Dplus didn't really have a chance where they could really gain momentum in this game.
And unfortunately for Dplus Kia, it still just continues a string of not realizing what we want to be their potential. Copenhagen, they get 1 in Swiss, go out 1-3. And Atlanta, again, get 1 in Swiss, go out 1-3. And honestly, if you want to give some credit to Dplus Kia, still 1 solid victory over Los, who ended up qualifying to the main stage, who have guaranteed themselves to be a top 8 team. We know this team can do something when they are realizing it in the server, when the connection is there, the chemistry is on point. But unfortunately for Dplus Kia, it just continues to be a little disappointing.
Definitely an interesting one, especially, again, like we see Chalet 7-1. I mean, they have some good ideas, Fox, but just not really able to pull things off in any considerable fashion. I think that last round especially, where we saw kind of the build up to what could have been a crazy execute go off without really anything happening. But then we switch gears on over to Skyscraper. And yeah, it's a great start from the Wolves, some very explosive takes, but Dplus Kia show up in kind and are able to kind of get their own mojo going on, you know?
That is true. Chalet was very one-sided, but Skyscraper, we saw some life. We saw a lot of explosive plays, these unique operators. Dplus wasn't scared to bring him out, especially after losing a map so defiantly. It's a shame that the first map didn't show a little more out of them, but the second map, there was a little bit to go off of. It was interesting to see some of the things that they brought out, but Wolves, at the end of the day, they've been slowly getting better step by step.
And I mean, now ultimately they just got to realize it. 2-2 game tomorrow, 1 final best of 3. If they win, they're in top 8, and what a recovery that would be from the beginning of the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But if they lose, the elimination, I mean...
Yo, Bald Boo hasn't dropped a map.
That is true. That is true. He is currently 4-0 after shaving his head, so maybe that is exactly what they needed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you for tuning into the TriCast. We had a great damn time over here. We're going to throw it down to the desk so you guys get to talk to P4.
All right. Thank you so much to our casters there. And we're actually speaking with Dplus's Yes and their manager, Yoon. And, you know, your time here at the Major is done. But I do want to ask you, what are you taking away from this entire experience? What's been the best part?
이번 메이저 이렇게 마치게 됐는데 여기서 뭐 배운 거나 이제 얻어가는 게 있는지.
항상 나올 때마다 잘한 팀이 많다고 항상 생각하는 것 같아요.
Whenever I participate in the major, there are many extraordinary teams. So, yeah, that's the thing.
Many extraordinary teams, but it was great to have you all here. The positive part here is that you have qualified for SI. So what are the plans moving forward for SI?
이제 브라질 6 인비테이셔널 진출하면은 어떤 걸 기대하고 있는지.
브라질에 한 번도 가보지 못했는데 브라질에 대한 뭐 나라에 대한 뭐 그런 것도 보고 뭐 또 SI를 또 오랜만에 나가는 거라서 기대가 되는 것 같아요.
So he's never been to Brazil, so that's what he is looking forward to, and SI as well. It's been a while. Yeah.
I like that answer. Okay, last question. Anything that you want to say to the fans at home?
팬들에게 이제 마지막으로 말하고 싶은 거.
항상 뭐 응원해 주시는 거 뭐 감사한데 약간 붕하지 못하는 거 좀 아쉽네요. 네.
All I can say is thank you always, and we'll do better next time.
Oh, Yes and Yoon, thank you so much for your time here and best of luck with the future. Thank you for that fantastic interview.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dplus eliminated. They return home, leaving the Atlanta Major. But the Wolves remain, beating them, barking at them, screaming at them. I'm here with Fresh and Bibu. Oh, man. Bibu, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Jesse and Jack have been referring to you as Baldboo. And apparently there has been some sort of transformation. I mean, it seems like a new Wolves. Would you agree with that?
I guess. Just on the results, we can say that. On the physics, too.
You've not lost a map and since you shaved your hair.
Yeah. I mean, I did it at 6 International, close, against G2. So I tried to do it again. Nothing to lose, like I said yesterday. It's working. Team is insane. We are playing insane, so...
You just asked me if you could bark in the interview, and I said yes.
Oh,
so this is your free arena to just bark as much as you want. No, in all seriousness. So what did you think when you saw the map bans? Chalet, Skyscraper, and then Oregon?
Yeah, so to be honest, except Cafe, it was our 3 best maps to play against them. So when we saw that they picked Chalet, we were okay. They are ballsy, like they have something in the stomach to play that. They play good against VP. Maybe our recent results helped teams to pick Chalet against us. So we were just okay. After that, we pick our Skyscraper. It's a very good map for us. Very confident. At the end, Oregon, it's a map you can be, trapped sometimes when you start attack. Yeah. But we feel like since yesterday, since 2 days, like we are in the attacks. We have something much. We have the energy to put some rounds in attacks in Oregon, and after that in defense. We are confident.
Talk to me about the transformation in the team, because I'll be honest, it didn't look good after a couple of days of Swiss. We were thinking, I was like, where's the Wolves gone that I know and love?
I think the first loss against Bliss in play-ins got us. To be honest, we were so confident and we didn't play our game at the end on 6-3. They made a huge comeback. And after that, we had a bounce back against Alpha Terrorists, but the game against Bliss was like very, very difficult. Could have not been us today in playoff. So it was tricky. And after that, we played Sonics and VP, 2 great teams of top Wolves. They are at the SI. They beat us twice today at Atlanta Major, but at Copenhagen, they put us 2 loss too. So yeah, it was a hard match, hard feelings, because we felt like we didn't play good. They will play well, but we didn't play as ourselves. And at the end, like I said, back to the wall, nothing to lose. We lacked so much energy, and so when we just before the games now, we're just saying nothing to talk too much. Just playing like practice, guys. Just give some energy, play fun, have fun, yell as much as you can, because maybe tomorrow you will not be there. So just take fun.
When you took the timeout on Skyscraper, just one last quick question.
Yeah.
When you took the timeout on Skyscraper, is that what you was told? Because you'd gone a little bit flat in the middle of Skyscraper, and then you got really loud again.
Exactly. Laurie take the timeout, and the first thing she said is, guys, we need to bring more energy. It worked when we got it on Chalet. On the first round, it was the same, and some rounds was closed. The round on office was like insane. Like they would just retake us so much. It was like so much gunfight at the same time. The communication was a bit. Was
that the one where it was all underneath the office? Yeah.
It was like, I will not say the S word, but the S word show. And so So at the end, when we lost the round, we took a bit of like a hit, Yeah. But the tactical timeout from Lilun just bring back their energy. We just take fun. She said we have a character that we are playing, like Mugli is playing a character as a sheriff, calling Gordon. He's saying with their strong voice, I'm the sheriff Gordon, and I want to play, and I want to win the round. And so where's this guy? Yeah. So Mugli just instant doing it, and so we take back the fun. And just win the rounds.
Definitely seemed like y'all were having a lot of fun. On a serious note, 11 teams left here now. How long do you think you all will stay alive?
At the end, we are aiming the end now, because we are Worlds. We are top team Worlds, top team on the Worlds, and we are not there to play. We are there to win everything. And now because we have this bounce back, sorry, we're ready to win. Nothing to say.
Here to win, nothing to say. Baldboo, thank you very much for that fantastic interview. Earlier we were saying we're going to be changing your graphics. Oh gosh, Mowgli just ran in and kissed his bald head. Oh man. Bee-Boo, Baldboo. Oh man, such a character. And honestly, this team was so fun to watch today. First map, the energy, I mean, it was insane in here. I mean, we were just hearing all of this screaming, barking. I can't even talk about it anymore. But I do want to pick your brains a little bit more about this matchup here. What is Wolves' plan moving ahead? 2-2 now. And honestly, I love that answer. Like, he's like, we're going to the end.
Yeah, that's the mentality you got to have,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Nobody's here to finish 5th. This is going to be a team
True.
who's coming in. They're wanting to win the major. Of course they are, right? So
Imagine if that was the goal. Right, boys, we are coming in. We will finish 5th. No, I'm joking.
You know, but sometimes teams come in here and they're like, hey, I just want to get to the main stage, or hey, I want to do top 4. So that I like that answer.
Sure, and we actually did talk to Helby when the game was going on throughout map 1, and one thing he said was goal 1 was get to SI. And they did that earlier on in the tournament. They actually accomplished that. And so now they're just kind of like, okay, second goal is win the tournament.